Okay, so we got questions about how do you respond to distractions, I guess both internal and external, like pets who have the audacity to want your attention when you're trying to meditate. In a way, the same principles really apply. So for example, if there's a noise, our mind gets taken up by the noise. We notice the noise. So we just simply notice that our attention has been caught by the noise, and then we come back to the breath or body. But of course, what's really interesting to notice is if there's an emotional reaction to that. So in a way, noise doesn't have to be a problem to meditation. What gets problematic is if we also, as well as hearing the noise, have an aversion towards it. We start thinking, oh, this is ruining my meditation, this is getting in the way, and so on and so forth. So what can very, very easily happen is we get caught up in a whole story about that. About the noise, typically a story of a sort of aversion story, an ill will, and there's a sense of wanting to push it away, to block it. So we can just notice if that's happening. Again, we don't need to get into a whole big sort of judgment about ourselves for having that response. This is part of the meditation. This is part of the meditation, is learning those little responses that we're having all the time. In a sense, if we start paying attention, what we'll notice is that all the time there are little movements either towards experience or away from it, in the sense of, if we have some kind of experience, a sensation or a thought or a feeling that we like, we'll tend to want to move towards it. If it's one we don't like, we'll tend to want to push it away. So our first job is, without telling ourselves off for having those responses, because that just doesn't help, we just get interested. Oh, look, there I'm doing that aversion response. There I'm doing that pushing away. Or there I'm, we start thinking about, I don't know, what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, and I start, salivating in anticipation about that. Again, so that's a sort of moving towards, and we just can notice that and just be interested. That's fine. That's what's going on. That's okay. And again, we can start to try and create a more subtle awareness, which is to notice what are the physical sensations associated with these little movements towards or movement away. So we hear a noise, maybe there's an aversive response. Probably there's also going to be a tensing up somewhere with that aversion, if we can find it. So we can just be interested in that and try and stay with those sensations. It may not last very long. Again, if it's just a small, mild thing, it can pass very, very quickly. But we can just try and notice it. Just try and notice how we've tensed up about it. Actually, interesting, you also very easily get tension with moving towards it, like the sort of anticipation of wanting something. Again, usually there's I don't know, you maybe see me, my body's moving forward, you sort of lean into it, but also often there's a bit of tension that goes with that. So again, we can be interested in noticing the tension that occurs with that, and really pay attention to those sensations. So distractions, to use that word, are not a problem. Our problem is only if we think they're a problem. They're actually really good opportunity to see our mind and to work with our mind. They're basically sort of the grist for the mill. They're the working ground of our meditation, to really see these subtle movements of the mind and to learn how to be with them without reacting to them.